Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. In our earlier program, we have discussed about as per the approach, we have four types of evaluation, that is placement evaluation, formative evaluation, diagnostic evaluation and summative evaluation. And we have discussed the concept of these four types of evaluation. As I have mentioned in the earlier program that some evaluation that we conduct, that is before the instructional process, before starting of the instructional process, and some of the evaluation process that we conduct during the process of teaching and learning, or that's you can say during the instructional process, and certain evaluation types that we use after the completion of the instructional process, means after the completion of the entire course, you can say. Okay, so we have discussed that the placement evaluation, we conduct placement evaluation, that is before starting the instructional process, that is to know the entry behavior of the learner and to give them entry to a definite program, to a definite course. Okay, and we have discussed the other two types of evaluation, that is formative evaluation and diagnostic evaluation, that we use during the teaching learning process, during the instructional process. It starts from the very beginning of the teaching learning process, you can say from the first day of the initiation of the teaching and learning in the academic session, and it continues till the end of the year, or you can say till the end of the program also. Okay, and summative evaluation that we have discussed, that after completion of entire teaching learning process, after completion of the entire course, we take summative evaluation to certify the learners, to certify the students. So this is the major concept of these four types of evaluation as per the approach. And I have mentioned in my discussion that though there are four types of evaluation, but mostly two types of evaluation that we highly used in the teaching learning process, that is formative evaluation and summative evaluation. So friends, today in this program we will discuss the difference between formative evaluation and summative evaluation in different parameters. Okay, so how we can bring the distinction between formative and summative evaluation by using different parameters, and we will discuss with certain examples so that this concept will more clear and you can develop a type of understanding to difference establish difference between these two concepts. So first of all, you see, basing upon the parameter of time of use, we can say that formative evaluation is used during the process of instruction. So the time of use is during the process of instruction, as already I have mentioned that the process has started from the first day of your academic program, from the first day of your course or of your program. Okay, so when the first class has been taken, so with the starting of the teaching learning process, formative assessment started with the teaching learning process. This has been integrated with the process of instruction. And so far as time of use is concerned, summative evaluation, we use it, we apply summative evaluation, we practice summative evaluation at the end of the course, or at the end of the term, or at the end of a semester or a session. It may be you can say annual examination, it may be a term end examination, it may be a semester end examination, or you can say this is also a course, you can say course completion examination. At the end of the course, you are appearing a type of term end examination, annual examination. Okay, so that's called as the university examination, the board examination. Okay, in school level we call it is as the board examination, and in the higher education system, it may be in the colleges, it may be in the universities, we say that is it is the term end examination. Okay, so friends, after completion of the instructional process, that the exam or the evaluation that we conduct, that is called as the summative evaluation. Then let us try to discuss on the other parameters. So far as the purpose of the formative and summative evaluation is concerned, you see, the purpose of conducting formative evaluation is to know the progress and mastery of the learners. We have already discussed. Till then, I am emphasizing that the keywords and the very purpose that we use, that we follow for conducting formative evaluation is to know the mastery of the learning, okay, the mastery of the content, whether the students are achieving the mastery or not. Okay, let we are teaching mathematics in a particular chapter, let we are teaching science or social science or language in any unit, in any section, in any chapter. So you see, we conduct, after completion of this chapter, after completion of this lesson, we conduct a formative evaluation by using any technique. Okay, it may be a type of oral test, it may be a type of paper and pencil test, it may be a type of, you can say, discussion, group discussion, peer group discussion, focused group discussion. Okay, and a type, it may be a type of demonstration, also may be a type of symposia, it may be a type of you can say seminar. So by doing, by applying, by practicing such techniques, so what we will be doing, we will be analyzing and we will be understanding, we will be reaching at a point whether the students to whom we are dealing, whether they have achieved mastery upon that learning task or not. Okay, so that's why mastery means here, you can say, let achieving 60% or achieving 50% at least, to achieve the you can say average percentage, means you can say, let the minimum level of learning of a particular task is 50%. So whether the learners are achieving at least 50% or not. So here I am not talking about the high achieving students or the low achieving students. So mastery means a level. So whether we have whether the learners are reaching at a particular level or not, attending at a particular level or not, performing at the particular level or not. So that is the mastery. Then second purpose, we can say that by conducting formative evaluation, you see, we will get feedback, we will get feedback about the learners. Okay, so means what is their progress and where they are, in which areas, in which content they are facing difficulties, what is their learning difficulties. So by conducting formative evaluation, we can get detail about the learning difficulties, detail about the learning problems of the learners. Okay, so after getting the learning difficulties, the areas of difficulties, after knowing the learning problems and other problems also of the learners, then again what we can do, so that will give a type of input to the teachers to modify his or her teaching, to use certain different method, to change teaching method, teaching technique, teaching strategies, activities. Okay, for the teacher. So you see, the purpose of formative evaluation is not only to mastery, rather it also gives many feedbacks. It also gives, you can say, very continuous feedback to the teachers to modify his or her teaching. Then we can say it also provides data for the summative evaluation. You see, summative evaluation is terminal in nature, annual in nature. So that's why many a time for preparing annual result, okay, term and result, so you will find that there is certain contribution of formative assessment, maybe a little percentage, maybe 20%, 30% or 40%. So this is also another purpose to satisfy the learners. So there will be a certain contribution of formative assessment. So that's why, friends, these are the three different purposes for that we conduct the formative evaluation. Then the next we will discuss the purpose of conducting the summative evaluation. The very purpose of conducting summative evaluation is to certify the learners, to certify the students. You see, after completion of a teaching learning process, so what you will do, you have to certify the learners, you have to give a certification, you have to give a degree. Okay, after graduation, after post graduation, after 10th, after 12th, so you are certifying the learners, the board is certifying the learners, the university is certifying the learners. So this is the purpose. And you see, by conducting summative evaluation, we also get a type of feedback, but that feedback is a you can say very means after getting the feedback, here there are as a teacher we are getting very little scope to use that feedback and to help the learners for modifying their learning difficulties, because what feedback the feedback that you will get, that is after completion of the instructional process. So again you cannot deal the students, again you cannot teach the students, you cannot support the learners. So that's why that may be a feedback for further studies. But during that session, during that teaching learning process, you see already the feedback that you have received by conducting the formative evaluation. So as per the feedback, you have implemented certain new techniques, certain new methods to make your teaching more interesting and to help the learners for solving their difficulties. But here the feedbacks that you are getting the feedback very late, and that will not help the learners for modifying their learning. Then you can also say that summative evaluation is also include the formative evaluation, because the informations and the data, the learning progress that you are getting by conducting the formative evaluation, that also equally help to satisfy the learners, because as I have already said that certain percentage of contribution of formative evaluation is already there for satisfying the learners in formative evaluation. Then this is the difference between as per the purpose. Then the third difference we will discuss, that is as per the learning objectives. On the parameter of the learning objectives, we can say that for conducting formative evaluation, we have certain learning objectives, and for conducting summative evaluation, we have also certain learning objectives. For conducting formative evaluation, you see the formative evaluation is a continuous process, and this is related to the lesson itself. This is related to a chapter itself. So that's why I have already said that formative evaluation is integrated with the teaching learning process. So it is therefore, when as a teacher, when you are teaching a lesson, definitely you have certain objectives. Okay, so that objectives you will try to, at the end of the teaching, you will try to achieve those objectives. So here the objective that you have formed, that is related to the teaching content means related to the lessons that you are teaching. Okay, the particular lesson, the particular content that you are teaching. So that's why this is very limited, the scope is here very limited, because the objectives are related to only one content, only one lesson, or only one chapter, only one unit. But when we talk about the learning objectives of summative evaluation, you see here the learning objectives is depending upon the entire course, entire program, because after end of the program you are taking the annual examination. Okay, after end of the course you are taking the board examination or the university examination. So here the learning objectives are based upon the entire course. Okay, the entire course means here let mathematics as a subject, the learning objectives of mathematics as a subject. Okay, the learning objectives of science as a subject, the learning objectives of social science as a subject, English as a language subject, okay, Hindi as a language subject. But when we talk about the learning objectives of formative assessment, means the objectives related to any content area of mathematics, any chapter or any topic of mathematics, any topic of science, any topic of social science. So here the learning objectives in summative evaluation is very vast, very broad. It depends upon the entire course, the entire subject, whereas the learning objectives in formative assessment is very narrow, very limited. It depends upon the particular topic, the particular content point, the particular lesson of a subject. The next distinction we will try to establish, taking into consideration the parameter of the process. Okay, so you see what process will adopt for conducting the formative evaluation and summative evaluation. You see, for conducting the formative evaluation, as I have already said, that this is a continuous process, and it starts from the very beginning of the teaching learning process, very beginning of the academic session. So that's why whatever assessment activities as a teacher you are doing in your class, okay, when you are teaching. So all the techniques will included in formative assessment to know the progress of the learners, to know the performance of the learners, for providing them instant feedback, okay, for difficulty, for solving their learning difficulties, just like how as a teacher how you can do it. So here classroom observation is the you can say very important technique. So when teacher is teaching, at the same time the teacher is also observing the progress of the learners, observing the activities of the learners. So teacher observation can be used and can be conducted through oral and written teacher made test. Teacher can use certain test also, maybe oral test, maybe a type of by using a teacher made test. You can also prepare a type of test. Then by conducting peer and group discussion also, you can use this process to know the progress of the learners. Then you can say mostly such type of test is mostly internal in nature, as a teacher decides so far as teaching learning process is concerned, so far as content is concerned, so far as learning activities is concerned, teaching methods is concerned, the teacher will decide. It is internal, mostly it is internal in nature. And you can say by conducting formative evaluation, we give very quick feedback to the learners, so that instantly they can develop themselves, they can modify their learning. But when we talk about the process of summative evaluation, you can say we can do it by conducting a term and examination, which is mostly external in nature. External in nature means here you see in the board examination or the university examination. So what you are doing, so you see for the entire university or the affiliated college under the university, so a schedule has developed, and on the single day the university takes exam, all will attend that exam. So that's why we can say the term and examination, and which has conducted externally. So here there is no control of teacher. The teacher who are teaching to the students, they might set a question for the university, but here the assessment is not internal. Here the assessment or the evaluation is external in nature. And mostly mostly you will find that a written examination are conducted, and so far as other subject, practical based subjects also, you will also find that for summative evaluation certain practical activities are also conducted, okay. And here for conducting summative evaluation, both teacher made and standardized tools can be used. I have already discussed that in my earlier program in teacher made test versus standardized test, the process of standardizing a test, the process of constructing a test. So here summative evaluation can be conducted by using a teacher made test. Let it is an annual examination, it is a term and examination in the school and colleges. So teacher can prepare the test, okay, and that test can be used. And when there is the matter of a board examination, when there is the matter of a university examination, so what do? You prepare a test, and mostly we can say that these tests are a type of standardized test, okay. So both teacher made and standardized tests are used in the summative evaluation. Then next we will discuss so far as the parameter of tools and techniques are used. What are the different tools that we can use for conducting the formative evaluation and for conducting the summative evaluation? You see, for conducting the formative evaluation, varieties of tools can be used, okay. Varieties of tools means it is up to the teacher, okay, basing upon the nature of the subject, basing upon the nature of the topics, basing upon the methods of teaching, basing upon, you can say the activities that the teacher performs in the classroom. The teacher can decide the techniques, the tools that can be used for knowing the progress and mastery of the learners by conducting the formative evaluation. Just like you see the tools like a test, a teacher made test can be used, a type of questionnaire can be used, a scale can be used for measuring, for knowing the attitude of the learners. Teacher can use a scale, teacher can use a sociometric technique also, okay, to know the leadership behavior of the students, to know the likeness of the students, to know the personality of the students. Then teacher can use certain schedule also. Okay, maybe interview schedule, maybe observation schedule. Means teacher can observe the teaching learning process, observe the students while he or she is teaching, and can take a personal interview also, can ask question, oral question to the students also, to the learners also. Then teacher can also use a type of checklist. Okay, so in a checklist you will find that different items are given, then the students will go through the items, and which is suitable for them, then they can make it tick. So checklist can be used as one of the tool. Then teacher can use portfolio also. Okay, so portfolio means the students will collect their works, collect their activities that they have conducted throughout the years, and they will make a record of it. And in a quarterly basis, in a semester basis, or in an annual basis, that portfolio can be evaluated, and students can be given a grade. Okay, it can be evaluated also. So portfolio can be used. Nowadays the school is also using the e-portfolio, electronic portfolio, that can also be used. Teacher can use certain quiz, certain debate, certain project, certain discussion, role play, dramatization, field trips, excursion. So all such things can be used as one of the tools and techniques for conducting the formative evaluation. And for conducting summative evaluation, you see varieties of tools that you cannot use. Mostly summative evaluation is conducted by using a type of written examination, a paper and pencil examination. And if it is a practical based subject, then there is the scope to conduct examination by using your the practical test. It may be in the lab, it may be in the field. Okay, so that can be done. Then the another parameter, so far as the parameter of product is concerned, we can differentiate formative and summative evaluation in this way. Like, so far as the product is concerned, you see, formative evaluation enable learners to know their progress in learning, difficulties they face, and the ways to remove those difficulties. Try to understand. Here I am saying, first of all, the learners will know their progress, whether they are progressing or not, whether they are achieving the mastery or not. Then the second is, where is the difficulties, where is the learning difficulties. Okay, and why there is the learning difficulties. Then accordingly, after getting the cause of the learning difficulties, then certain remediation, how to, for removing those learning difficulties, certain remediation treatment can be given to the learners. So this is the product. Then again we can say it enables the learners for their continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So evaluation is not mostly a terminal process, so that's why it should be included with the teaching learning process. It should be integrated with the teaching learning process. So the product is to know whether continuously the student or the learners are progressing or not. So when there is the teaching, then there is the assessment, there is the evaluation. Then lastly we can say that the product of formative evaluation, that you can say suitable remediation for further development of the learners. Means after knowing the learning difficulties, we can give suitable remediation. Okay, by using many techniques, by giving extra time, by you can say using certain innovative methods. Okay, so we can improve the learners towards achieving the mastery and towards reaching at the minimum level of learning. And the product of summative evaluation, that we can say the most important product is here to award and certify the learners. We have to award it, we have to grade the learners, we have to certify the learners. So we can say that whether the student achieved first division or second division in any course, in any program. Okay, in 10th, in 12th, in graduation, in post graduation. Then at the same time, to make them enable and eligible to pursue further educational courses and programs. You see, after completion of 10th, so after getting getting a good score, good grade, good percentage, so they will eligible to pursue their higher secondary education. Then after completion of higher secondary education, after certification of higher secondary education, after award of higher secondary education, then they will eligible to pursue their graduation program. Then after completion of graduation program, they will eligible for pursuing their post-graduation program, and maybe they may go for any professional and technical education also. So friends, here you see the product of summative evaluation is to award the learners, is to certify the learners, is to grade the learners, at the same time make them eligible for pursuing the further programs. So friends, these are the certain you can say distinction between the formative and summative evaluation in different parameters. So far as time of use is concerned, purpose, learning objectives, process, tools and techniques used, and product parameter is concerned. And I think if you will engage yourself understanding formative evaluation and summative evaluation, you can better design your teaching and learning process, and you can better design your assessment techniques that you use in your classroom with the teaching. And you see, you can design your teaching and learning process. You can use many tools and techniques to engage your learning, engage your students, not only learning, rather learning as well as to make them self-assessment. So friends, this is the distinction between formative and summative evaluation. And in our next program, we will discuss other aspect of educational measurement and evaluation, assessment for learning, and other aspect of educational themes also. Thank you.